Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name is Rose Davidson from doesbiz.com, and in this episode I'm talking to Pauline Delany about how she empowers women to better their business and have the lifestyle that they like. Hello Pauline and welcome, and thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Rose. I'm really excited to be here.
Right. And Pauline absolutely loves working with beautiful women entrepreneurs to create their own online business that will empower them to fulfill and be successful in their own right, while also being able to create a real freedom lifestyle. She spent the last 25 years working in my career as an optometrist, and she worked part-time ever since the birth of her son, who is now 22, and now she's got 4 children. And 3.5 years ago, she discovered internet marketing and was instantly hooked. And it was in June, 2013, that she attended a seminar at the Hilton Hotel in Melbourne, and she was blown away by the seminar, and she was fascinated by the scope and possibilities of a successful online business. So tell me a little bit more about how that came about and what had actually transpired since that time, Pauline.
Of course. Now, those dates are a little bit off now. That's, I think, from my website, which is a little bit behind the time. So my eldest son is now nearly 26, but everything else, 2013, I went to an online a live workshop about online marketing, and that was my first introduction to the online world. Up until then, I really didn't know much at all, and I was having to get my son to help me send an email. I didn't know how to send an email, so that has all changed now, and my passion is to help women who are in business to have a successful business, gearing more towards getting their messaging really, really clear. So I market myself as a messaging specialist now for female entrepreneurs, because of course, if you haven't got your message right, then nothing else matters. So I have 4 children, yes, and I love running my business around those beautiful children aged between 25 and 16 and my husband, and it's wonderful, really enjoying it.
So tell me a little bit about your delving into life coaching and NLP and connecting people with their purpose. That was at the beginning of your journey, I suppose. So how did you progress from that?
So when I started, my introduction was that internet marketing seminar. So I've spent quite a few years delving into internet marketing, online stuff, social media, email marketing, all of the fun stuff, technology, automation, and I really enjoyed that. But I felt there was something missing, and I then also went down that personal development route where I was able to really find out more about myself and what made me tick, and then use that to be able to help other women understand their limiting beliefs and really have the right mindset and tools to be able to have an online business that worked. And that's where I went down the life coaching path and did the NLP training, and really enjoyed that and love the idea of being able to meld those two things together. The online marketing and the life coaching just work so beautifully together, because it enables us to have I suppose, having strategy, having all that masculine stuff, which is all the do, busy, but also, and I am delving more into this right now at the minute, with into the feminine stuff, which is more of the understanding what makes us tick, having the being able to flow with our business so that it's not busy all the time, and it's really fulfilling. And those two parts you need, I think, in any venture, but I love integrating the two in my business.
Yeah, so how does this then translate with your business? How do you translate that to helping other females?
So the way that I help women at the moment is to get their messaging really clear and create an offer that's going to be able to appeal to their perfect client and make it an easy solution for them. So a lot of the women I see don't have a clear message, and they're really concentrating more on, this is what I do, and these are the things I can help you with, and this is the course I have, this is the program I have, rather than really getting their messaging clear and delving into exactly who it is that they help and understanding that person. So having a clear concept of what it means to them in their daily life, and using all the tools that I've learnt in my life coaching, for example, bringing that into understanding where their perfect clients are at, and being able to come to them at their level and have an offer that's going to be the perfect solution for the problems that they're having, and being able to articulate that so that firstly the woman, or my clients are women, the woman in business has a clear understanding of who she works with and how she helps them, but then can convey that so that other people know that too, and then are drawn to her.
Yeah. So can you give me an example, perhaps? Because I know you and I have been connected for a long time, since, I don't know, the noughties probably, and we followed each other around, but how does one get their messaging and finding their ideal client? Can you maybe just give some little hints or tips for the ladies out
Okay.
there?
Yep. So firstly, obviously you have an area where you're going to specialize in. So you have to have expertise, you have to have skills, you have to have talents around a certain being able to help people get a certain outcome. But if there's no clear burning problem that you're going to help somebody solve, then you don't have a business. So it's identifying, I suppose, what that clear burning problem is for a particular segment of the market, so a particular target market. So rather than saying you're someone who helps people lose weight, you're someone who helps certain people lose weight. And even losing weight might not be their big problem. It might be their self-esteem. It might be the way that they their relationships with their family. So it's having that clear, deep understanding of who that person is. And this is something that evolves. So it's not like one morning you wake up and say, this is my perfect client, this is my ideal client, and that's it forever, and it never changes. Because as you go along and as you evolve, as you do more research, as you have people come to you, that can change. And it only needs sometimes a little tweak to make it so much more powerful and make you, if you are an expert in a particular area with a particular target market, then that is just it's just something that's going to be so much more powerful than you being a general practitioner who's going to help all these different people to achieve a result. If you can promise one person to solve one problem, to get one particular result that is a huge result, then that is a really powerful business. But so many people don't know how to firstly identify that client, and then create a solution that's going to help them turn that client into from a caterpillar into a butterfly. So I suppose it's identifying your skills, so what you're good at, what you want to help people with, what you enjoy doing, because there's no point in helping someone just because there's a market there and you hate those people and you hate working with them. So having your passion fulfilled, but also having a burning problem that you solve. So I suppose my biggest message to people listening today would be, choose your perfect client or your perfect, the business that you have based on a burning problem of a particular group of people.
Great. That's a great thing. So, I know you're a messaging expert or specialist or whatever. So what are the types of words maybe that, say they were looking to help someone who was trying to lose weight? Are there any sort of words that, that they would use, or is it just a general thing? Is it,
General,
specialized
we
words
don't
or
like
just general?
general. Yeah, general's a bad word in marketing.
Okay.
So yeah, specialized words, but it has to be specific to that person. So if you're someone who helps mums to lose weight, for example, you're not going to be talking highbrow and use the same words that you would use if you're talking to someone who's in corporate, for example. So those words need to be the same words that your people will resonate with. And you don't go off into a teaching exercise. It needs to be at the level that they're at. So connecting as well with the problem that they know that they have, and not the one that you know is the deepest problem that's really causing them, say, to need to lose or want to lose weight, which might be maybe they were abused as a child, or they were always put down by their parents. Maybe that's the reason why they have the weight has built up in the first place, but they don't know that yet. So you have to come at them from where they're at, and then once you've sort of hooked them, I suppose, with your so maybe they think it's because they have no willpower. So maybe you come at them talking about willpower, and then as you go down the different layers, you can start to introduce those other concepts that are the real reason, and then help them work through those. But you can't lead with those. So I suppose it's a matter of really identifying what the problem is that they think is the problem, and coming with your marketing aiming at that particular problem. So using the words that they would use. So there's no particular words that I can say, these are the words that you need. It's different for different clients.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So how does one find their ideal client? Where do they search for one?
Where do they search for one? Well, I suppose they need to first know who they are, who they're searching for, because otherwise it's like having a big ocean and you're on a little tiny fishing boat and you're casting out a tiny little fishing rod and hoping to find someone. So what works really well is to start to put out a message that's going to attract those people, and they will start to naturally come to you, and then you can refine it down. But knowing who your person is, and then analysing, I suppose, if they are, let's say they are someone who's a corporate woman, well, where would a corporate woman be if she is online, for example? What other interests does she have? What are the types of Facebook groups she might join? What sort of hobbies does she have? And that will help you guide your way to find this woman. What other associations might she be with? Maybe she's also looking to speak, so she might be in Toastmasters or something like that. So it's knowing who that client is and knowing as much as you can about them. And if you don't know where they are or how to find out about them, picture your perfect client and see if there's someone that you know who fits that picture, and then see if you can talk to them directly and ask them questions. That can work really well.
Yep. And talking about Facebook groups and where your ideal client might be hanging out, um, how do you go about doing that? I mean, do you just ask to join a group, or do you, what's the strategy for that?
So firstly, the first thing that I teach my clients and that we work on, that can be a longer process even, is getting clear on who that person is, who that ideal client and problem is, so that their messaging is clear. Because there's no point in randomly trying to join Facebook groups if they haven't got that clear. So once you know who that person is and have a clear understanding of them, then you should have an idea on where they might be online. With Facebook groups, one of the strategies I encourage my clients to use is to have their own Facebook group. But before you're at that stage, you need to do some research so that you know that when you do have your own Facebook group, you're going to gather the right people into that group. Because that Facebook group then is it's like a pond. So that instead of having the big ocean with all of those fish out there that are not necessarily the fish that you want, you're gathering together a select group of fish into your little pond, which is your Facebook group. And then when you start doing anything in that group, you're casting out a rod that's going to attract much more fish that are going to be the right sort of fish than if you're out in the ocean in the middle of nowhere. So I suppose it's really, I wouldn't be encouraging people to join lots and lots of Facebook groups. Be very strategic, because social media can take a lot of time and energy, and you want to make sure that you're spending any time and energy on things that are going to produce results. So maybe even having 3 really specific, highly engaged, interactive Facebook groups where you apply to join that contain your ideal client, that people are doing things in, not just one that hasn't had any posts for the last 2 years. So that I suppose maybe just 3 groups to choose, rather than thinking you'll throw out a whole lot of spaghetti into lots of different groups and maybe get someone to eat it.
Yeah, stick to the wall, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask a question then, but I forgot what it was. There we go. So, personal development with your clients. I mean, I know you have a lot of courses and you have a lot of training programs and whatever, but what other personal development would you encourage your clients to undertake?
Personal development. Well, I suppose if we're working together one-on-one, or even in a group, and at the moment I'm only working one-on-one or in very small groups, so I don't have programs that people can go off and do on their own. It's more a lot of spending time with me as well. So we would identify where their blocks are, where their particularly their limiting beliefs. And a lot of people who come to me are worried about putting themselves out there, being seen, being criticized, whether it's to be visible, or they want to be visible, but they don't want to be visible. They want to hide behind the computer. So they don't know how to put themselves out there in a way that's going to be beneficial for their business, but also is not going to cause them to have a heart attack. So we definitely work on those sorts of things, and we go back and identify maybe if something's happened in the past that has blocked them from being able to attract money, for example. If they have those negative beliefs and they're really caught up in the being busy, helping them to open up those beliefs. So maybe even doing things like working on themselves, spending time. I encourage my clients to have some listening time each day where they have just quiet time, actually scheduling that in so that they're not always busy thinking, oh yes, I'll do this, I'll do that, but they have time to relax, to let their minds stay open and really start to be aware of if messages are coming to them, if they've got ideas, they've got time to let that happen rather than trying to fit it in with everything else. Does that answer your question?
Yep, it does. Yes, thank you. Now, I know that you do encourage when people, if they have a website, or even if they don't, you encourage your clients to have packages rather than work with a time for money concept. Could you just go into that a little bit more?
I'm a very big believer in I suppose selling our offerings as a solution rather than a set of videos or a set of modules or a set of coaching sessions. So very much outcome based. So having a tangible outcome or transformation that you're going to help people achieve is going to be much more powerful than saying, okay, you work with me, it's going to cost X amount of dollars, we get this many sessions, and it'll be fantastic. But instead saying, this is my special offer. And at the end of our time together, you will have this outcome. So you will have a way to easily attract clients in your business. You will be making X amount in your business. You will have lost X amount of weight. You will have attracted your perfect ideal client. And offering, concentrating on the outcome rather than the nitty gritty of what's in the offer means that that's where people are focused, and they can to have a an offer that's going to sell means that you're then going to have the right, and you only allow the right people in, because a lot of people will say to me, well, I can't promise them they're going to lose this amount of weight or they're going to get this result. But if you are very picky about the person you allow in, the person that you take on as a client, and only allow in people that you know you can help, that have the right problem that you have the solution for, then you can say that if they do all the things that you tell them to do, they follow the steps, they take responsibility for their own actions, they can achieve this outcome. So having a tangible outcome means that you can, I suppose, name your price. You're not saying this is $3,000 and you get 5 sessions and you get this and this many templates. You say this is maybe $3,000 and at the end of this you will have the perfect business for you. Something like that, so that you're promising them the outcome. And it means that you are not selling your time for money. You are selling the outcome and the transformation, which is at a much higher, you can easily explain the value of, rather than the amount of sessions and the amount of hours and the amount of emails you're going to send and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I remember that I was in the beginning selling, like I would do something and it would take me so many hours, and I was charging by the hour. And I know that a lot of people discourage that now. They'd rather you bundle up your services and then charge a price for that, rather than working, and charging by the hour, because it's not it's not productive. It's not really what you do. It's just that's what I know. Time for money. That I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not the right way to go about stuff. Now, you did a lot of network marketing. Why did you get out of that?
Because it didn't work.
Yeah.
So over the years, 20 years ago, I did lots of different things. I was always, my husband and I have always been entrepreneurial. So we always knew that working in a job wasn't our big goal. We had bigger goals than that. And we wanted to have a business, have financial security and freedom without having to be dominated by a boss. So we tried lots of different things and fell for some of those get rich quick schemes back in the day. Tried the network marketing, did lots of different ones, because everyone has this big promise, and you go to the seminars and here's these people on stage who've made X amount of $1 million. But then you look at how many people are in the audience compared to those couple of people who are on stage, which you don't think about at the time. But looking back, of course, you think, well, hang on, they're not all going to get to that level. And was very discouraged. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with network marketing. I think it's a fabulous vehicle for some people. And the products, a lot of the products are fabulous, but it ended up just not being for me.
Yep. So where can people find you, Pauline?
They can find me at my my website, which is paulinedelany.com, and also in my Facebook group. I encourage people, women particularly, who are in a business wanting to get more, to join a community of like-minded women who are all in the process of developing their business and moving to a higher level. It's focused and leveraged. My group is called. So I encourage people to join me there, and I'm sure that you can give them the link to that.
I'm sure I can. Yes, I'm a member of there, and I really love being in there. It's great. It's a great community of women, and heaps of information, heaps of sharing, and it's just a great place to be. And so, well, Pauline, that comes to the end of our time today. I really do appreciate you getting up and being with me. So, if you'd like to have more information on Pauline's services, I'll put the link in the comments later. And until next time, thank you for your company.
Thanks so much, Rose. Lovely to be here.